Okay, live chat. Here we go. All right, do you have a visual yet? So still trying to load. Almost done. Okay, so this is my first time using Zoom and then casting on YouTube. And I'm trying to put this all together in my office. And hopefully my phone doesn't fall apart. Okay, here we go. So the idea here is to show you a couple of exercises that are going to help your back. Right now, it doesn't seem like well, I wasn't properly prepared. That's what's true. Okay, we're almost ready. Okay, so this particular session is how to strengthen your lower back. Okay, so when talking about the lower back, where you can put your fingers and feel the pain right in this area right here. Okay, so you can see where the crack of your butt starts, and then these two little pieces will be the top of your glutes, right there, where you can rest your thumbs If that's where your pain is, it could be up here and radiate, all right? That's possible, but that's the area that we're going to focus. So let me first start by explaining what happens here. So most people, when they do the particular exercise to strengthen this area and to relieve this particular area, they do it wrong because we're accustomed to doing it in a certain way because we're always hollowed on the back, right? Hollow means you can still stick your hand in there. So you want to take your belly button, make it tight, roll your hips. You see, like you're trying to pick this up. If you could do this in alignment so that your hip is in a straight line from your knees through your hips to your shoulder touching the ground, and you can hold it and then squeeze, this would be the ideal position. And you want to hold that. So I would go up, hold, 1, 2, 3, drop down, hold, 1, 2, 3, drop down, hold, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to do that 10 times. And then on the 10th one, you squeeze, and then you just try to breathe normally while you're pushing as high as you can. You will feel it right in that area. You'll feel it at the bottom of your glutes, okay? And you'll feel it in your quads for as long as you can hold it. And you want to have your knees close to each other. It'll make it difficult. If you open them up, you can push your hips higher. But when you put your knees together and you try to hold it like you're squeezing a pillow, then it becomes more difficult. And that's the goal, all right? Now, when we're moving our legs, the problem is this. Most people, when they do this exercise, what they do is that they pick up the leg, they pick it up too high, and then they move it at about that fast pace. This is an exercise that needs to be really slow. So you have to, once again, you have to show you here. It's easier this way. Okay. You're on the floor and your hips, rather than being like this, you want to have that movement. Okay. That movement is you squeeze your buns and you make your butthole really tight. You see the difference in the abs? Right here to here. Okay. You're taking your hips, you're rolling them in, and then you take your belly button and you push it further. So it's two things in here: hip, belly button in, and that's the squeeze. Now, while you hold that, then you got to move the leg. All right. So here we go. I'm rolling my hips. Now I'm gonna squeeze my abs. Okay, squeezing, right? Pick up the leg. The leg is only about that far off the ground. Toes are pointed away from my body. And my lower back is popping. Now I'm putting pressure with this foot, with my right foot, on the ground to balance the rest of my body. But this foot is probably about maybe that much off the ground. If you go that far, you'll start to disengage. Right here, it's no longer the abs. Now it's all in the leg. And the further it goes up, yeah, my back is flat, but my hips are rolled over this way. That's a different exercise. So you want to pick it up and squeeze and push your belly button down. Hold that position. Okay. And just keep breathing while pushing. Don't hold your breath. Okay. Toes pointed away. So what's happening is I'm moving the foot about this much with every breath. I'm gonna drop it down and pick up the other foot. Same thing, picking it up about that much off the ground. So that much is approximately 6 to 8 inches off the ground. Belly in. There, and I can feel it all the way through here, right there. All the way through here. Keep breathing while maintaining that pressure. Can you move it side to side? Sure. But the problem is if you start moving the foot, you focus too much on movement and not on squeezing your abs down, your belly down, your hips rolled in. You see the difference? If you're here, I'm purposely sticking my belly out so you can see. So now in the relaxed position, right? So it's not just sucking the gut. I can do that without my back being pressed on the wall. It's about turning your hips and then pushing your belly down, then picking up the foot. Right there. I have my hands up here so that I'm not putting pressure with my hands, my elbows, or my shoulders. Right there. Okay. It's not the movement of the leg that's important, it's the position of the midsection. Right? It's the position of the midsection that's important here. Okay. So if you can't do it with one leg, with both of them stretched out, bring your leg in and start closer to your crotch as you lift up one leg and squeeze, right? So you first have to roll your hips, squeeze your stomach, push your belly button down. And I'm anchoring here at this hip, okay? The tendency is to roll to one side or to roll to the other side, and that's why you want to squeeze it so that you can have both hips anchored, okay? So I take my shoulders out of the way. The further that leg goes away from your hip, the more pressure you have to control and balance this section. Okay, further goes out, the harder it is to control, and the more you'll feel it in here. That's explanation for just one exercise. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a way to put a little bit of pressure while stretching your legs. I'm sorry, but so you're going to lay down. Okay. Your elbows are bent in. You're going to pick yourself up from the elbows while pushing your hips into the ground again. Okay. And then you pick up one foot. Bring it down, pick up the other foot, and you stretch it out while Again, these are the reason why these are complex is because you're not accustomed to controlling that area in your body, but you're going to push with your pelvic onto the floor. You're going to get on your elbows. You're in this position. Okay, pushing down with your hips and you're on your elbows. Okay, and then you pick up one foot and you point your toes away from your body. Can you see how I'm rolling in one side? You want to bring both hips down and you're picking up your leg with this whole muscle, not with your leg muscle. So you want to push down and press hard so that you can pick up one foot and pick up the other. The side that's the weakest is the side that's going to hurt the most. And that's normal. So count for as long as you can take it. So you start 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 until you can't take it no more. And you bring your foot down. Then you do the other side and you count. Okay. The one that you can do the longest, start with that one. You do 3 sets until 3 sets 3 times, holding it for the idea here is to be able to balance both sides so you can hold it the same amount of time. But you're going to start with your strong side, the one that you can hold it the longest. So when you move to the other side, which is your weak area, you have to catch up the numbers, right? So let's say on one side I can do 10 seconds while stretching out my leg and holding it. And then the other side, I can only do 3 seconds. So I'm going to do the 10-second side first, and then I'm going to try to hold the other one for 5 seconds because your brain does a binaural learning. The good side will support the weak side. And that's why you start with the strong side, because then your brain is accustomed to go higher numbers and you'll strengthen the weak sides much quicker. So that's 2 exercises that we've covered, which is basically the same thing inverted, right? We did it forward and we did it backwards, lifting up the leg while taking the hips and dropping them in really nice and tight. Okay, so now you're going to be in, you can lay down. You're going to take both your legs, bend them at 90 degrees, okay, so that the leg is straight in line with your body. You see that? Okay. Then you're going to take the side where it hurts, assuming it's the right side. You're going to pick it up and then point away. So now you're in this position. Support your head with a pillow. So pick it up as high as you can. Bend that knee, not 45, but about in the middle, 30 degrees. And then you see that angle of the knee? You're going to take that and drive it down till you touch the ground with the knee. So at 30 degrees, comes down, touch the ground, you'll feel it right here, right in that area that where you could put your thumb, okay? Straight here, 30 degrees. This one stays at 90. It's the beginning of a backwards kick. You go from here, and the focus is not the toe, but the knee touching the ground. Okay, do 10 of those. You'll feel it in, so the area of pain is here, and then this whole muscle that's inside your hip is the one doing the work. Okay. The knee touches the ground and it comes back. Okay. Take a break. Now we're gonna say same position. So that's exercise number 3. Then you're gonna lift up that leg and you're gonna bring it back. The idea is to exhaust the energy that's locked up in this area. So stick it out, bring it back without moving the rest of your body as far as you can. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Just turn here so you can see a little better. I'm gonna be straight. 1. You're not bringing your knee to the front. You're just bringing it in line, and then you're swinging it back as far as you can and high. 1, 2, 3. So now I feel it right in here. Okay. The goal is to be able to do this 10 times while holding it for 3 to 5 seconds. And it's not easy. So let me explain something to you from that position, that we have a group of muscles. All of them are like little single straws, right? We have the same thing here in the deltoid. This whole muscle is 3: front, middle, and the back. You can see that little one, right? Front, middle, and there's this single muscle in the back. You see that? See how that one sticks out? That little guy right there. That's the rear deltoid. Well, the reason why I'm showing it to you is I'm not gonna take off my pants to show you the divisions, but you have the same thing. You have, the front part, got the middle, and these all come up this way. And then you got these little tiny muscles right up here that don't get used at. That's where your pain is. That's the part that you're taking your leg and you're bringing it back, right? You're going like this to increase what this represents here, this represents here. All right. So now we've covered 4 different exercises that you can do. So now let's cover two stretches that are going to help you to relieve that pain. So then, which one of the 4 exercises you're going to pick? You're going to pick all 4. You start with the ones that you can, and you're going to progress until you get that relief. I'll give you 3. These are the last 3. 2 stretches and 1 area of relief, and I'll explain it in a moment. And this works really good. It works just about in any place that you can do it. Okay, stretch number 1. You lay flat, okay? Right? You stretch one knee, you turn it over. Take your, on the same side that you crossed over, right? So if I'm working on my right leg, I'm gonna cross my leg over my left knee while that leg is straight, but the right knee is bent where my ankle is in line with my knee. Then I'm gonna take my left hand, I'm gonna touch my knee, and I'm gonna pull myself until the idea is to get the bent knee to touch the ground. Once it's touching the ground, you take your right hand, keep your left hand on your right knee, you stretch out your hand, and then you start to let that hand counterbalance the rest of your body opposite, and you start moving away. So you take it up straight to the ceiling and you turn, you let the hand drop. And what it does, it rolls your shoulder so that your shoulder wants to touch the ground. And at the same time, you're twisting your whole spine. This twist, start right here. When you do it slowly, you literally start feeling your bones, your vertebrae wanting to pop. You'll find a sharp point of pain somewhere in there. And wherever that sharp point is, so let's say it's right here from me. So I'm going to stop my hand and I'm not going to keep pushing to try and touch the ground. You got to let the weight of gravity, because that's when your muscles relax. Your hand, don't push your hand, because what you're doing is you're increasing the pain and you're increasing the discomfort. My knee has not moved. My knee over here is touching the ground. And what I'm doing here is I'm going as far as my body will allow me. I'm stopping there. And then I'm just going to breathe. Okay, while maintaining contact with my knee on the ground. Now, if I take that hand and I move it overhead and bring it back, and just play with the hand back and forth, like I'm doing these circles, what it does, it distracts my mind from the pressure that's right here, and you'll start to feel those bones, just lining up and getting back into place. You start here, hand aimed at the ceiling, drop it until you start feeling your knee wanting to come off the ground. Don't put any pressure, just let gravity hold it right there. Breathe 3 times and try to relax. And every breath out. The effect of breathing will begin to unlock the vertebrae that are locked. Then you can move your hand slowly in that area. Don't put pressure, let gravity take care of it. Okay, bring your hand down to your hip. Turn a little bit. Okay, you see, you gotta not go nice and slow, because those muscles are so tight all day long that when you do this stretch, they want to coil back. And so if you go fast, you'll pinch up. You'll feel like you're pinching something. So go nice and slow. Support your knee if you need to. Okay. Now that you're there, okay. So keep the leg straight, the one that's bent, wrap on the front of the knee, push your hips down even, and then try to bring that to your chest. Don't twist, straight onto your chest. Okay, there it is. Once you do that stretch, you're gonna wrap your hand around your ankle, okay? Support your knee. Now that you're bringing your ankle as far as you can bring it, push your knee and try to stretch all of this, okay? And you bring it in. So now you're gonna stretch the bottom part of your buttocks and the side. The more you pull over to this side while keeping your hips in line and your knee towards your chest, the more you're going to feel that stretch through here. Okay. And then interlace your fingers behind your knee. Okay. and try to lock your knee, right? This is locked, and you're gonna pull. It's gonna stretch the what is known as a hamstring. See how my knee's locked, interlace, and you just bring it slowly. Don't push it too hard, and just breathe through it. Breathe 10 breaths while locking your knee and pulling. Don't point your toes, bring it down and straight, okay? And we're stretching this piece. All right. So those are the two stretches, crossing over, right? And then stretching the base of your buttocks and the hamstring. With all of those pieces done consistently, you're building the muscle there, you're releasing the stress from that area, and then you're stretching that muscle so that it's not constantly pulling your hips. Because what's happening is that you had a weakness where you were pulling what is known as a hollow back. Can't really tell from this angle, but so you put a lot of pressure in those top muscles, and they got really tight, and they forgot to relax. So you gotta you reteach them to relax. Bonus stretch, which I really like, is I like to call it the runner stretch. You're gonna tuck one leg in, you take the other one, and you're gonna basically put one foot in front of the other like this while flipped. Okay. So stretch the leg and almost like you're crossing over. So you can see, no, you can't. Okay, my knee, my bent knee is, my toes are touching that knee. Okay. And then I'm going to roll over onto it. And I'm gonna send that back leg further back. So I'm driving my crotch into the floor. And I'm gonna sit up, and then as far as I can go down first. And then I'm hold that position, and I'm gonna lean, lean, keep leaning. Okay. Don't let your hip roll. You want to be able to, and I'll show it to you in just a second. And you want to stretch forward. Okay. So it looks like this, right? You see how this is off the ground? You want to get that right there on the ground. There it is. Now sit up, and then you push that leg back. From that position, you take the same side, the right hand, and you're going to stretch it forward and come on down. And what you're doing is you're stretching all of this. The further you can go. Five times. Coming forward, lean into the stretch as far as you can, your body allows you, and then relax. 3 breaths. Come up, support yourself, drop down, re-anchor again. Now that you're anchored, you want to take this hip, which is pointing up, you want to bring that to the ground while trying to keep this as close as to the ground. It's difficult, but you're really trying to do is stretch all of these muscles which is your buttock muscles. Okay. It takes much longer to explain it. Once you learn how to do that, you can go through the whole sequence and you end up with this one. So from start, you work your way up. The last one, you can take a ball, a tennis ball, okay, which I didn't have one with me, but you're gonna put it right over the area. A towel will do, okay? A rag. You put it right in the area that hurts. You lay down on it, okay? One leg, the area that's not hurting, you lay that flat, and then you turn into it. So you see, I'm opening my hips and I'm putting the pressure in that area. Now that I feel the pressure, I'm gonna stretch it out slowly, slowly. While maintaining the pressure, I'm pushing with my, like the first exercise we did, you bring it back 3 times and then turn and roll onto it. And basically the movement is for massaging the spot that's hurting. A tennis ball is the best because it has some give, but it also has enough rigidity so that it pushes up against the affected area. You can do it against a wall, and against the wall, you're basically going to roll up and down in that area with a ball. So that's your bonus self massage. I've given you exercises to strengthen that area. I'm giving you exercises to stretch that area, and then I'm giving you exercise to relieve the immediate pain. The 2 major exercises to, once you're past the pain, that'll strengthen that area is the first exercise that I showed you, which is you have to be very controlled with that one. And the one where you're going back, because you're going to strengthen and take those muscles out of being spasm, okay, where your leg is going back. Those are the 2 major exercises to strengthen. Once you get strong, you can do what I did, which is I added weights to my ankles. Okay. What you don't want to do is press really hard with your head and get tension on your neck. Your head, your upper body should be relaxed. All the power and the strength is in the middle section. So those are the exercises for the lower back. In order to do them correctly, the last thing I want to show you is the exercise that we've been working on, which is the mother load of the goal. Okay, is to be able to take this whole chain, the shoulder chain, along with the lower back, and make it all one piece to work as one unit. In order to do that, here's the actual exercise, right? You're on your elbows, your head is not touching the ground, and you stretch back. Okay? You can see I'm leaning forward. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, and then I'm going to roll forward. I want you to notice that my toes are not. So you're going to start with on your toes first, okay? And you slide back. The next progression would be on
front of your legs, not your legs, but your toes, you see?
So right where the shoelace is, you rub against that. That makes it really difficult. Don't start there. Start on the balls of your feet, right? On your toes, rolling back until you're able to do that consistently. What is consistent? 10 down, up, and then being able to hold it for twice as long as you can go up and down. Then at that point, you can start with the shoelace side of your foot. These are difficult, but when you get that chain where you're able to drop down and bring yourself in, you're literally strengthening the whole chain of the shoulder girdle, the lat, the muscles that hold it all together here, your abs, your side, your buns, your quads, your tiny muscles that are in here, which are the ones that gives us the most problems with our abs and our lower back. These muscles right here are, the name escapes me right now, psoas muscles, okay? They attach inside the hip to pull the hip, all right? So when you can connect all those pieces, you'll feel solid. You won't have back pain. These are the exercises I want you to work on. So if you can't do all of them, which I assume you won't be able to, right? Because you haven't done the practice. So you have to start somewhere. Start with the first one I showed you, try to work your way through all of that, and you build up to them. If you have any questions, comments, send them my way, and we can talk some more about it, okay? So the last piece I showed you, where your hands are like this, and you're pulling in, is the highest level of progression, where your body's like this, and you're gonna stretch it out. Going from, if you can't pull, don't pull, because that's the hardest one. I want you to start from what is known as negatives. So I'm going to show you what a negative is. A negative is you get in the contractile position, okay? And so you're going to drop down. That's your negative, okay? You start here and you drop, and then you pick yourself up, okay? Don't go negative and then try to pull yourself up, because you haven't had the strength in that area, and you're gonna, because you don't have the strength, you can't engage the right muscles. Because you can't engage the right muscles, which means you have to tuck it while you're pulling. So it won't work, and you only end up injuring a muscle that's already injured. The muscle itself is not injured. It's the memory of the injury that's living in that spot. And that's why you start with reverse negatives, from the highest contractile position to the other way, until it becomes comfortable enough where you can start pulling in. And that takes about 2 weeks of consistency if you're doing this every day. Okay. Well, that's it for today. I think I've covered quite a bit. And thank you for taking the time to be with me. Let me know how that works for you. Let me know if you have any questions or comments about it. Take care.